Morning friends, happy Wednesday. Completely unscientific, I know, and there could be a bit of bias here, but I wanted to share with the world some of the comments posted under the Daily Mail digital edition story from yesterday showing Kate working at the Victoria and Albert Museum in London, going to see one of their exhibitions. And yes, I don't know whether that's actual work, I don't think it is, but what do I know? All these comments are from UK residents. They're all taxpayers in one way or another. Even if they are retired and do not pay income tax, they are paying other forms of taxation just to stay alive. Not seriously ill anymore then. Ah yes, Wimbledon soon, isn't it? Hinting that Kate only comes out just before there's nice events to go to. What is she doing actually? What work is this? And the list goes on and on and on, seriously. It was easy to get a screenshot with a barrage of negative comments. It was more difficult to get a screenshot where there were all kind comments, to be honest. And in fact, I gave up after 5 minutes. This is a pretty true representation of what taxpayers and UK citizens are feeling at the moment. You can't hide it. When comments are open on stories like this, you get the truth. Mainly because it's so easy for people to voice their opinion. It literally takes 30 seconds for you to give your opinion on what you think about every single story in the Mail. So people take that opportunity. And on that note, see what I did there? It literally takes you 30 seconds to post a comment under this. Comments are open. Is Kate getting a rough ride? Let me know what you think.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Michelle here, and today we need to cut through the noise and talk about something that's been festering beneath the surface of royal commentary for years. Kate Middleton, now Catherine, Princess of Wales and future Queen Consort, has been sold to us as the gold standard of modern royalty. Graceful, poised, dutiful, always present, always polite, and always working. But in 2025, the illusion is falling apart, and people are finally saying what needed to be said. Kate Middleton isn't working, she's performing, and we're footing the bill for it. So let's break this down, not just the fantasy the media keeps trying to sell, but the facts, the reality, the growing public resentment, and the uncomfortable questions the palace doesn't want anyone asking. Let's start with the image. For more than a decade, Kate's been portrayed as the hard-working royal, the reliable one, not controversial, not outspoken, not dramatic, just steady. That alone, in a family known for scandal, was seen as an asset. But that's the trick, isn't it? She's been praised more for what she hasn't done than for anything she's actually contributed. And over time, the bar got lower and lower, to the point where a single photo at a school, a museum, or a charity gala becomes a media event, as if simply showing up in public qualifies as labor. Imagine any regular person being celebrated for walking into a building, staying for 20 minutes, making small talk, then leaving. Would that be considered work? Would that be considered contribution? Of course not. But for Kate, it's practically headline-worthy. Let's be real here. Cutting ribbons, unveiling plaques, and wearing tailored coats is not public service. It's choreography, it's branding. And, increasingly people see it for what it is. An illusion designed to distract us from the lack of real substance. And that illusion is now colliding head-on with reality. We're in a cost-of-living crisis. Families are skipping meals, nurses are striking, teachers are overworked and underpaid, public services are collapsing under budget cuts, and in the middle of all this, we're watching a royal fly-in by helicopter to attend an art exhibit for 45 minutes, surrounded by paparazzi, smiling for cameras, wearing an outfit that costs more than most people's monthly rent. The optics are insulting, not just outdated but actively offensive, because this isn't just about wealth, it's about the claim to duty, to sacrifice, to service. And the reality is, that claim doesn't hold up. Not when the monarchy costs British taxpayers hundreds of millions of pounds a year, and the return on investment is a few scheduled appearances that are carefully stage-managed to protect image, not serve the public. But here's the part that really burns. The media is still trying to prop this up. Every time Kate disappears from public view for weeks or even months, there's radio silence. No explanation, no transparency. And when she does return, she's met with glowing coverage. Kate stuns in emerald gown. The Princess of Wales steps back into royal duties with elegance and grace. What's never asked is, where has she been? What has she actually done behind the scenes? Where's the accountability? Because real public figures, politicians, civil servants, charity leaders, they don't get to ghost for weeks without someone demanding answers. But Kate Middleton? The press treats her like she's royalty from a fairy tale, which I suppose is the point. And it's not just silence, it's complicity. These media outlets rely on royal access. They need those photo ops to drive clicks and revenue. So of course they'll play along. Of course they'll avoid criticism. They've traded journalism for palace PR. Meanwhile, if anyone dares to speak out on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, they're labeled a hater, a troll, a troublemaker. But that narrative doesn't work anymore. This isn't hate. This is scrutiny. This is critical thinking. And in 2025, the public is more awake, more informed, and more vocal than ever before. Because here's the twist the palace didn't see coming. Social media broke the spell. For years, royals could count on glossy headlines and tightly controlled narratives. But now, TikTok exists, Twitter threads exist, YouTube deep dives exist, and people talk. Every time a story gets published, the comment sections are flooded with skepticism, sarcasm, receipts, regular people saying, "Hang on a second, that doesn't add up." And the palace can't control that. They can't silence a million voices pointing out the disconnect between curated images and lived reality. This is why the backlash is growing. Not because people are mean-spirited, but because they're connected, informed, awake. And let's be clear, this isn't just about Kate. It's about a monarchy that's become performative, tone-deaf, and increasingly irrelevant. We're looking at a system where privilege is inherited, wealth is protected, and service is reduced to photo shoots. It's a structure built on spectacle, not merit. And when people question that, they're told to be quiet. But respect is earned, and tradition, when it's used to shield accountability, is nothing more than a smokescreen. People aren't just frustrated with Kate Middleton's lack of visible effort. They're frustrated with a monarchy that still expects deference without delivering anything meaningful. It's not about tearing anyone down. It's about, demanding that those who benefit the most from public funding, media protection, and generational wealth actually show up. Not for cameras, but for causes, for people, for communities that really need help. And honestly, we need to talk about the enablers, the media figures, influencers, and blue-ticked defenders who rush to protect Kate anytime she faces criticism. They say she's being bullied, that it's misogyny, and that it's unfair to expect more. But here's the truth. Criticizing someone for not doing their job isn't bullying. It's accountability. And if that job happens to come with palaces, staff, jewels, and status, you should expect people to ask questions. No one is above critique, not even a princess, especially not a publicly funded one. So where does this leave us? It leaves us with a public that's no longer hypnotized by photo ops, a generation that asks hard questions and expects honest answers, a society that's no longer afraid to say, "Hey, this doesn't feel right. Kate Middleton isn't the villain, but she's also not the hero the media wants her to be. She's a symbol of a system that's desperately clinging to image over impact, and that's the real problem." This moment isn't about cancellation. It's about recalibration, about redefining what public service means, about rejecting performative royalty and demanding something real. And to everyone who's helped shift that conversation, thank you. Whether it's a tweet, a video, a Reddit thread, you are the reason this illusion is cracking. You are the reason change is even possible. Because once people stop buying the fairy tale, they start writing their own story. And that's exactly what we're doing. And thanks for hanging out with me today. If this resonated, drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's keep the dialogue going. Let's keep asking the hard questions. Because power without accountability is just a performance, and the world's waking up to that fact. I'm Michelle. Stay sharp, stay curious, and never stop questioning the narrative.